Here's the thing, chat. I don't care if you can run it. I want to run it. Get wrecked, chat. We should probably lerp these, right? Isn't that not what I need to do? Nice. Nice. Now we're talking. 2.0. Move speed. 0. Now we're talking. We should figure out how to make a sword. Okay. Or it's like, it's going to charge for 10 seconds. And then it's going to swing for 10 seconds. We should probably make it a little faster though, don't you think? Maybe like this. Like we'll do the shoom, chop, chop. You know what I'm saying, chat? We just chomp them. I chat, to be honest, I just can't even believe this is working at all. It's my way to learn new things, usually reading and trying. It helps to slow down and think as well. It depends a lot on the topic though. It also depends if I have friends who can help. So it depends on a lot of stuff, I guess. All right, so I don't think I want to solve this sword problem yet. New programming language, yeah. I usually browse some examples, read and try and figure out what it's how can I say it, like what its ethos, what's its main idea, what's its purpose. And then once you have that, then you should try it out. Ideally for the thing that it's good at. And see how it goes. Like if I was just trying out OCaml for the first time, I would not I wouldn't do game dev. A sword is actually finding if it's colliding with stuff. I don't think I super want to do that yet. So I'm trying to think, what's the next thing we could do? I kind of want to think about, what does it mean to have like a... Yeah, well, I wouldn't really do it with this. You know what I mean? This isn't how I would actually do it. I don't think this, like, you would need actual, like, sprites and stuff. How fast do you already understand Lua? What's up, middle end? You know, so I mean, so it's like, well, this isn't how we would do it, no matter what. So I would learn Lua. And then come back. Decomposing a big problem into small problems is a good idea as well. Okay, so how do people normally even do this? You have like a bunch of objects, right? Yo, back up. Here, check this out. You'll like it. We got the gear. We got the gear, chat. Indeed. Geo, my dude. Hey, thanks for the sub, buddy. Alright, so in a normal game engine, you like create a bunch of objects. Are they mostly like event? Do the objects say, yo, redraw me? Or does the event loop have a list of all the objects that could be redrawn? Or do people do different stuff? You guys know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out, like, I mean, in some ways, the latter. The objects tell the event loop to draw. I don't remember which order I said. Every frame, every time. Right, but we're going to have, like, guys that are off screen, right? So, like, when you think about, like, do the drawing, you definitely need to have, like, a camera. Like, you need to have some region, right? And then some item or something like this, right? And it's like, okay, so the item would check itself to say, am I even in this region? And if not, then it's going to skip, right? But then it's still like, you're still running over them every time. Can you make it so that it's not event for how many items you have? Like, just more and more into Prime, and I'm scared. I gotta get ready for more videos, you know? I was thinking of reacting to their stuff today from NextConf, but they literally just made jokes the whole time, so I don't even think I can react to it. It wouldn't fit on my family friendly stream, that's for sure. But okay. But I'm saying even just for like looking at the guys at all. Or should I just not care? I haven't done dev containers really. Only after Brainstorming becomes a problem. Well, yes, but I don't want to pick the exact wrong architecture when I know that I want to paint, you know, several thousand mobs that are going to be doing things every tick. There's a spider on the wall and Ember's like freaking out. Come on, let's see if I can show. Oh. Okay. See, there's a spider right there. There's a spider right there. She was like, what's going on? What's up, puppy? Look at her. She's locked in on that spider. It's okay, Bob. Come here. Oh. Good girl. No, no. Oh my goodness, what? 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 I don't know what she wants. But did mom get home? I actually don't know what she wants. Kayleen might have just got home. I don't know. Maybe that's it. You want to go upstairs? Okay. One sec, chat. Sorry. Okay. So. All right. So we're back. Right. Flame. So that's kind of what I don't want to do in ECS. I don't think we need to. Realistically, we should only ever have like a few thousand items max, I think. Right? Oh, African scam call. Sorry, I ran upstairs. Actually, you can see my first PR to Neovim. There you go, a while ago. Yeah, the performance was fine for like 10,000 things, but they're not doing very much right now. Like we weren't doing collision checking. They weren't drawing like real sprites. They weren't shooting at anything at us. We weren't like keeping track of like experience points, you know, things like that, right? So that's just where I was getting worried, because at like 30,000, we were slowing down with just doing like, they all find the closest angle to get to the player, and we do that every tick. Now, the other option would be, right, we also don't have to always do everything for every single one every tick, right? Like, we could be smarter than that later. Yeah, like quad tree. So I know that you can do these kind of shenanigans where you're making it. I don't know how hard are they to write? Could just be a grid. Yeah. Okay, well, we can leave that part later. That doesn't seem like as big of a deal. I'm just trying to think, like, okay, so... Oh, so here was another thing that I was thinking about, right? So we want to do, like, stats tracking, right? Well, I could... Like, is it crazy to have, like, a separate core that listens for events and does all the tracking based on that, like, or a separate thread based, I guess, like, you can think of it as a separate domain in OCaml land, and we can like send stuff to that. Like, I'm just trying to think, you know, sort of, I just want to think about how to do this and also leverage some fun stuff from OCaml too. Because we have multi-core for OCaml. So for doing things, you know, like tracking damage numbers and like all this other stuff, right? We could like, I don't know if the serialization cost is more than the, you know what I mean, chat? Like, should I be thinking about splitting up, you know, calculations for stuff? Yeah, either calculations on on entities like dealing damage, or like tracking how much burn damage we've done, or like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, one thing I was trying to think of was like, what if we did more stuff with like events, and you like emitted messages and things listened for different messages and then did different stuff, right? But that seems kind of crazy, doesn't it? Like, But that also seems like the best way to leverage multiple cores in like an OCaml style language, because I can't just do like pragma 4 and like do crazy things with C and make it parallel or something like that. Or like, I don't think I'm using the GPU at all to do anything interesting. And I don't even know how I would do that from OCaml, right? Like my thought would be, if I want to achieve more CPU powers, right? Hey, thanks, Carl. Chat, you can buy it right now. OCamlist.com. There's a lot of goodies, actually. I'm thinking about also getting this one. I don't know, there's some good ones there.
I can't stand the distance. You're over there contemplating existence. Wish I could be of greater assistance. You're putting up this wall of resistance. Yeah, you can call me
so okay.
Socially distant. My brains to know this instance. Is it the system making us inconsistent? It's easy to blame the external.
Trading events, because some games have played season all calc damage on the main third, slow things down even with the red. Right, so that's kind of what I was wondering, right? Like, so like, let's say we go back to EIO. Look at this. I'm gonna pick one up for my GF. Nice. Nice, Carl. She go to a different school or? Domain, main domain manager, run. Got try sign out button on. Like, cause I was kind of, so I was looking at some stuff from this. I don't think this is ready for me to use though. But like, you could have thread specifically pull events from a queue and make sure you run through the queue before the next frame. Right. Right, and we could have different threads. Yeah, we, you know, like. So. I said that I needed the space, but when I think back, I only see your face. It's always gonna be hard to replace the touch. Okay, on 5. So let's just read through. Let's read through a little bit. Let's get our brains. Let's get our brains thinking, right? Like. Yeah, so this is called domains in OCaml land, by the way. I'm good, Ari. How are you? So we have lots of CPU time, basically, right? Our whole game is CPU time, mostly, as far as I can tell. There are two, let's run 2 fibers on a single domain. Yeah, I get this. You got to be careful about the kind of values that you do. Optimization caching. RAM. Cache. RAM so too slow. Out of order execution. Yep. Compiler optimizations. Yep. Multiple cores. And we have multiple cores, unluckily. Yes, right. I have actually read a bunch of this already. I still don't think this tells me, this probably doesn't tell me what I want to do. This is just about making sure that you don't like scuff up. Here we go. Parallel programming multi-core OCaml. That's what we want to figure out. Is that even reasonable for us to think about doing, right? Like a parallel 4. Right? Like this would be a good idea, right? Some of this is a little outdated, but this is like you can set up a task pool. That's good. How do people figure, like, a normal game's allowed to take up more than 1 core, right? I mean, like, I'm saying policy when you guys, the students who writing power and OCaml. Oh, sweet, Ant. Right, so this one, this is actually an example. Oh, this would be bad. Don't spawn a lot of domains. What's up, Bisco? Game should use multiple cores. Right, okay. Yeah, like this looks pretty good, does it not? Right? Flame, like I'm not crazy to think like I initialize a task pool, we can do all the calculations that we need for like the direction of where, you know, where like all the mobs need to go, right? And then we just update what their states are, and then we can draw them later. Like, so we have one thread that does the drawing. Only one thread does drawing, right? But we could have all of these guys update them separately to say like where they should move next. How is that not just a nested for? It's because this is a function right here. So this actually runs in parallel on multiple different cores. Like you can test this if you want. But that's what this does. So I mean, it is still a nested for in the sense that this part's still like nested, but you're not doing all of it. Don't know how all the, it should be good. Like from what I can tell, what I've been hearing people doing this is actually quite fast. Used to rest in channels, right? So channels would also be cool, but like for channels, and it just seems like you're gonna pay too much. So like I want to share the memory, and I want to just tell myself that I'm not gonna do anything that wouldn't be thread safe. Right? I mean, this is like the difference, right? Where I want to share the memory, and I sometimes want to mutate stuff, right? Like all game devs, exactly. I mean, we could just try this, right? In the sense that for where we have right, where we do something like this iter here and we update all of them. So there is one difference in that for a lot of values, I know they are immutable. So that's one distinct difference. For example, this value right here, there's nothing about this value that I can change really. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I can actually do a bunch of stuff that is not the same as like if you were writing C for this, right? Like I can, so at least like there's a lot of things that are better about just promising that I won't do anything that's not thread safe, because I can actually just like make that promise a lot more simply than some of the other options, right? Should we just try this? Should we just try it? Kind of tempted to just try this. Like, what is the... Right. And so that's one of the things, honestly, that I wanted to try with OCaml, my camel. I mean, look at this. That's one of the things I wanted to try with OCaml is to explore, like, can we make a good enough promise for ourselves and still use like multi-core and stuff like that, right? And have like a much more, you know, enjoyable time. We can use channels though, by the way. Right? We can use channels. I don't know how these can be shared between multiple sending and receiving. Right, agreed. Agreed. Oh, buddy, someone in Vegas didn't know Melky was your brother. Embarrassing. Overheads and Maryland is full rate. That's funny. Okay. So, come on, Jack. This is you can solve this for yourselves. Look at this. I don't think it exposes SIMD, unfortunately. So I don't know. They're big string. I have no idea. This is 5 years ago. I don't know. Right. Right, that makes sense. That makes sense, Iron. Yeah, so that's one of the things where I think... Oh. That is one of the things that I sort of wonder, like... how much we're losing. So one thing that's nice, Iron Flint, is these things. These are C functions from Raylib. So when we're doing math stuff with these, we are getting those written in C, and they should be quite speedy. So like, I don't know if all of those are good, but at least like subtract and normalize and doing some of these things, a bunch of these are actually C. So like, we're not getting the worst case scenario, right? These are actually, and they're operating like literally on the C structs as far as I can tell. Like this vector 2, if you go to this type, it's literally a C type of like this vector 2. So this is just a, what up, Nightshade? So I think there's stuff that we could do in here. We could also write some C if we really need to. I mean, the main thing I'm trying to figure out, right, is like, okay, so yeah, so suppose we want to do, but that's not fun. Well, it is fun if you're going to write like some math stuff. I don't see any problem with writing like math stuff on a vector thing that's already defined in C. We can write some more math on the vector stuff also in C, right? That doesn't feel like cheating. You know what I mean? Like, if raylib doesn't define like a center of rectangle function, we may as well just write that in C. There's really no reason not to just return a new, you know, point that's at the center of the rectangle from C. That seems like a good idea. Is your goal to do this all on CPU? My feeling is that I basically have to do it all on CPU, because I don't know how I would put it on the GPU. But I do think we're going to be okay. Like, I think we're gonna be okay, because we're not making a big 3D fancy game with ray tracing and stuff. Right, we're just gonna like, it's gonna look like Vampire Survivors, right? That's my goal. Is I want it, I mean, I would be awesome if I could do, right? If it looks like this, then we're set, chat. So we don't need to do a bunch of the stuff that you would normally need GPUs for. Like, it's gonna be okay. And I think we probably will be fast enough. Even maybe on one core, honestly. Because, like, if you think about it, how many sprites are on here right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, something. Maybe like 20 right here. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16. So let's just say it's 20 by 20, right? It's only 400. Only 400 sprites at a time. And we put 10,000 on there at 60 FPS, no problem. And so then, I mean, I get that you're going to draw a lot of text. And you'll have some of these. But, like, we're probably displaying like 10,000 things max, right? Maybe you're going to display a couple of these for each of them. So maybe instead of like 400, it's going to be like 4,000. That's 100 things per sprite on the screen. Like, we can do 4,000. Maybe we don't even need multiple cores. I think so too, Flame. Like, I think it's possible. And so, okay, so then there's a side note too for this, which is that I want to do something kind of different than just exactly like these games, which would be I want part of the game loop to include, or part of the game experience, for you to be writing code. Like, as the gamer. Whether that's like you're controlling minions or you're writing stuff to do like how projectiles should aim. No, like, you're not like a puzzle, not like Leet Code style. Like, you're part of the way that you beat a level is by like modifying the behavior of something. Carnage Heart? No. And this looks old, dude. How old is this? Dude, I was just barely born. Dude, that sounds dope.
Welcome to a surprise stream. But if there's a missile within 50 meters, what is this? Jump straight up.
this is dope.
Is that a viable tactic against a missile launch? Jump straight up. We'll see how that works. Just jump. Just jump straight up, and we'll see if you dodge anything. That's not a command I use much. Duck. That's a command that
So I actually don't super care how accessible the game is because I'm mostly making it for me. But I'm also not opposed to doing visual style. Like, I'm not opposed to it. But like, I want it to be cool for me. I don't care if only gamers or only pro developers think that it's an interesting game. That would be cool.
you can use. It's like if there's like a missile within 5 meters or something. Duck. That's actually.
Dude, this game looks dope.
If an enemy is in front of you.
Noita? I haven't, no.
Oh, we want to spin it range. You fire. Yeah. Okay. I've clicked. The design is not a MasterCard. No. Hardware. Don't call it a MasterCard. No. I clicked too much. Okay, that's fine. We
Dude, this looks
I might
crazy.
need to widen the friendly fire check code a bit. That's what I need to do. They didn't, that was your friend you shot there. But they eliminated the enemies. Like, they got that guy completely pinned. Oh, wait, yeah, they destroyed him. Nice. And there's a cheat code you can put in to control your robots personally. So if I wanted to try to defeat my own robot by playing one of the enemy robots, I could. Or if you just wanted to play the robots as well, you could do that. Ooh, it was a little bit rougher. And if we capture this base, move on to
Dude,
the
this is
They killed your
crazy.
friends. Get him! Oh no. They've got him suppressed a bit. Oh god. It's hard to do 1 versus 3 when you're dealing with that kind of firepower. The tanks, the double turrets. Just close it and hit him a few times. You
So
kinda
he's not even playing right now, right? Is he just watching?
push off duty there. I really thought. Oh, I mean, he did good damage actually. He did 50% damage to like, or well, no, they were already damaged. Well, he did okay damage considering he was alone. I mean, that was fun.
Dang.
That was still fun to watch. I had higher hopes for you, single robot I called Rambo.
100%
It's
program.
okay. All right, funny nonetheless. But is that a bad portent for things to come? Is my design faulty against enemy tanks? There's only one way to find out. When we start having a serious disaster, send one unit that way.
Dude, this is so freaking cool.
It is fancy.
I know.
Going for the throat.
Think about how little resources they had.
This base has someone. Okay. Were you advancing to this base? Well, advance to their base. You're not supposed to be here.
I'm honestly,
Lots of robots going places. Yeah,
I'm
right,
in
Martin, these are our
shock.
robots. These are our robots.
I'm shook right now.
Fired a missile. Oh wow, some friendly fire situations there. Oh, I forgot to widen the friendly fire check. The friendly fire check code. Oh, this guy's turned around. Alright, yes, turn. Okay, friendly fire, guys. Friendly fire, guys. Well, I mean, the enemy's having friendly fire. Wow, we're ambushing them though. Wow, that went great. Even with the friendly fire, that went great. Look at that. That was pretty good, guys. It's a good sign.
Holy cow.
We got a lot of this. Okay, can they win another fight while wounded and out of missiles? They go jumping in like a bunch of angry froggers. So they get to shotgun range so they can suppress their opponents. The tanks have the advantage at long range with their lasers. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, one guy down. If the tanks can just snipe a bunch, they win. But if we close the distance, we win. The terrain was more in their favor this time. This guy's holding out, but he's stuck against the wall. Wow, look at that shotgun hit. He's just destroying them. Oh my god. But he's stuck against the wall because his jump command was always left, and he's against the left wall.
Dude.
That was all right. And then he ran into his own mine. Haha. Still.
Okay, so
I think we're still up.
dude. There's no way we can make this a compelling game though in this style of Vampire Survivors and have it be completely programmed. I feel like you still need to be playing somehow, right? You know what I mean? But this is along the lines of some of the stuff. No, this is perfect. This is perfect. This is so honestly, this is so cool just knowing it existed. You know what I mean? Like, this is so cool just knowing it existed at all. So here, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of some of the stuff that I thought would be cool in like a roguelike game with programming. So like, let's say normally, let's say a simple case to think about is like a summon, right? So you have like a summon and you can program like how the summon finds things, right? And each tick or some amount of time, let's say, the summon has a certain number of CPU cycles, basically to choose what it's going to do next, right? So more complicated behavior makes it take more turns or more ticks to go decide who to attack. It's like a really simple summon would be like attack closest guy, right? but that's not, but then like that's probably not optimal. Probably your summon is like a fire damage summon, so first it should be looking for like ice summons or grass type people to attack or something like this, right? So like it should at least be scanning locally to see if there's any grass guys for it to go. Right? You're following me, chat? Everyone following me so far? Right? And so like you can pick up upgrades like as you're going. You could run the code on a separate thread. Exactly. Well, we would run it in literally like a VM. Like an internal VM, right? Like you could do this with Lua or like something else where basically like you can literally see how many ticks you've used. Right? But so okay, so now hear me out on this. Hear me out on this, chat. Suppose one of the upgrades that you pick up in the middle of the fight as you're leveling up lets you check the status of an opponent for free. Okay, right before, maybe that cost 5 ticks to check. Right? But then like now your summon like can more easily check the status of enemies more freely. So they're able to attack more quickly because they're saving ticks, right? It doesn't matter if you still have to spend the ticks to actually calculate it, right? It's just that those don't count against your budget anymore. Right? So like certain things would be cheaper than they would have been before. Right, and then that like unlocks like a completely new style of game or a completely new strategy within your thing. Maybe you can bring a certain number of cards to the battle. You can switch it between your summons. Yep. Yeah, I know CPS, yeah. Alright. I'm honestly so amazed by this game. Still,
friendly fire is something I can work out on these boys. I haven't saved often.
This is so cool.
I haven't had a lot of playing this one so far, but I'm still playing on EPSXE, and it's making me all anxious because it's been quite a while since I saved. Just be chill. I'm not gonna click around weird or anger the emulator, please. Just be chill. Because we have this jump attached to this, how do I rewire this section that I screwed up?
Man, T-Ton, this is so cool. Are there later Carnage Heart like updates? Is this a later one? Exa? Oh wow. This looks worse. This one looks worse than the other one. See, I feel like this though, doesn't it not seem like this is harder than just writing code? Am I crazy? Like, am I like? So I understand. Yes, we're looking. Yeah, I'm also looking at it from a programmer's point of view. I don't care if the game is popular or not. Part of the reason I'm doing it is just like for fun and to learn a bunch of stuff and to practice some OCaml and things. So like, I don't care if it's also I don't have to make this whole GUI and all these other shenanigans and stuff like this, right? Like it's actually easier for me if I just make them write code, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's actually simpler. This is so funny, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh, I cannot believe this. I'm still so blown away by this. 2013. Oh, so this one, that was the one in 2013? Dude, that did not look that good. But writing basic script could be easier. Right. So I think, okay, so hear me out, right? I think you should be able, like, I can provide default, basically like default, I don't even know what you'd say, behaviors, right? And like you should be able to beat the game with default behaviors, basically, right? You know what I'm saying? But like just beating the game in like Vampire Survivors or Halls of Torment, that's not the appeal, right? The appeal is like, how can I make it so I can kill the boss in 1 second? Right? So I feel like boss.kill, exactly. So I feel like actually an on-ramp of some like default things, probably not a GUI, just realistically, I'm probably not going to design a whole visual programming experience. Like I probably just won't. But like maybe we can have some default sort of like scripts or ways to extend or some things like that that people could use, and then they could move towards it. That's not crazy to think of. But like, man, I cannot. I still just cannot get over this game, I'll be honest. That's so cool. Armor Core Formula Front. Made by From Software? Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Is this one they have programming? Dude, that's pretty funny. Okay. Chipwits. Dude, look at how old some of these are. Mind Rover gameplay. You can't even find somebody. That's crazy, dude. Sorry. Ugh. Man, sorry. What the heck? Okay. Dude, this game is crazy. Okay, so anyway, so this is kind of where I'm thinking, right? So maybe what if we did Vampire Survivors but way less mobs? Anyways, right? Okay, so what if we just thought about this again? What if we didn't need to put even 5,000 mobs or 500 mobs? What if we had more like 20? And the game was more about finding unique ways to like beat those mobs, right? So one of the main problems I feel like that I have with it, right, is like if you think about stuff from like programming features, would be like, so summons are an obvious one, right? You could have, you know, pathfinding, enemy location, status, speed, type, range, right? Oh, it'd be interesting to have one that's like a scouting unit. Right. I was just thinking, like, what if you had like a scouting unit? And so then you actually can't even find the enemies unless you scout them, or your main characters within vision, or like that'd be kind of interesting. You could play with light and vision a bit. Maybe you need someone that can like even just communication units, right? Like that'd be kind of interesting. You obviously need just like a melee unit. You know what I mean? You need like a tank. Tanky unit, right? You'd want like a ranged unit. You want, and like each of these can have a wide variety of exploration as well, right? Like maybe you have some melee units that are like, one thing you could do is play with directions, right? Like which direction a unit is facing. Or we'll say orientation, because that's more clear what we mean. Dude, now I almost want to just make this Carnage Heart game. It doesn't even need to be Vampire Survivors anymore. Like, should we just make Carnage Heart? But maybe I don't even need this. So like, okay, so imagine you have Carnage Heart, but it has like some roguelike elements. It has some procedurally generated elements, right? It has random upgrades, like in the battles. A bunch of those things are the things that I enjoy about Vampire Survivors, right? Basically, just take it in the macro and the micros program. That's pretty cool. So I wanted to do this kind of thing for a turn-based game a little while ago, like in the style of Fire Emblem. Except like in Fire Emblem, your characters, they just get like quantitatively stronger, right? Not really like qualitatively stronger. They don't really get like new moves and attacks, really. So it'd be interesting to like expand from Fire Emblem like regular level to like something very complicated. But that's like a lot harder, I think. I think it's just really hard to do. But with like a roguelike thing with random upgrades and stuff, things can change, and like it's okay if something's OP occasionally. You know what I mean? Like that's actually kind of part of the fun of like roguelikes, is like some rolls you get are just like incredibly broken. At least that's like my feeling with it sometimes for like roguelikes. Right. Yep. Exactly. 2-ton. Exactly. So that's the thing that I like better about Halls of Torment, just like as another point of something that I like versus I don't like. Halls of Torment sends little like mini bosses that are more unique. Like there's stuff to dodge. But like what if, you know what I'm saying? Like there's not a whole lot of exploration, I feel, of like well, because you can't, because there's no way to control all the bullets, right? Like, so obviously you can't control all the bullets. There's too many bullets. But could you make programming them somehow like part of that experience? I just don't know how fun it would be to like program like in the middle. right? Like it doesn't make sense at all to even program in the middle of a run. Or do you bring pre-programmed slots, right? And then you like apply those in the game. That seems more likely. Also seems a little less interactive. This is where it's hard, right? Because like all the programming stuff you can solve. Who was saying earlier that it becomes like gimmicky? I don't remember. But like all the stuff that you can program in 5 minutes is usually pretty simple, right? But the fun parts of programming are usually not the things you write in 5 minutes. Unless we can find some way to like compose behavior that's really enjoyable or really like funny. You know, like you accidentally just like, you know, you like accidentally kill everybody on your team because you programmed it backwards and they're attacking allies instead of enemies. Like that's like funny, you know, as long as the stakes aren't so high, right? Like maybe the game is only like 10 minutes of fighting instead of 30. Right, so like if the total game time is only more like 10 minutes per run of like actual fight time, right? But maybe expected time is more like 30. That's a lot. You can program a lot more stuff, right? And then it's also not so bad like if you lose, right? You don't feel like you just wasted like an hour and 15 minutes because you like missed a negative sign, right? But like it would be funny if your melee guy starts running away from everybody all the time, right? Like he's just trapped in an infinite loop of running away. Like that's funny. You know what I mean? That's like you get it. You're like, that's funny. And then you need some way to be able to fix it, right? Yeah, so I think the code part you should be able to like build on top of it somehow. I don't know exactly how. Obviously, there's literally no way to prevent people from just like copy and pasting into like notepad.exe, right? You know what I mean? Like we can't stop them from copying into notepad.exe. So obviously they're going to have code snippets between. So I think artificially making stuff more difficult than it needs to be is like kind of a lame mechanic, right? Like not being able to save code snippets or something. You should be able to take your code. Like maybe you have multiple disks and you can save them and that's how you bring them into battle or something. You can edit the disks live. Can you edit them live? Should you have coding in the game loop? I don't know. I'm not super convinced, but like you also want to react to like the random things you get, right? So like let's say you have a melee guy and you get an upgrade that you can apply to your melee guy that gives him electricity, right? Right, yes. So that's what I'm saying, right? You get this composable code, right? So you attach electricity attack to him, right? Well, now you might want to like have him search for water-based people. Coding the game, like arcane assembly. I don't know. Oh, spell programming. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so they basically just did Scratch, right? Dude, I gotta check this game out. This looks great. It's really cute, too. This is sweet. Yeah, someone already mentioned Noita. I should probably... Oh, I have seen something about this game before. Yes, I have. Every pixel is physically simulated. That thing reminded me of that, yeah. Oh, so it's not done though. Nobody can even play this yet. Oh, but people played the demo. That's cool. Oh, actually making noise in OCaml sounds like fun. See, I'm not as interested in all this physics stuff. I feel it's kind of hard to have a game with a lot of... It's like a lot harder to have games with compelling mechanics with all this environment stuff. I'm not saying they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like they're clearly, like, they did it. You know what I'm saying? But, like, for something that I could build in you know, like, my spare time and someday have something to show for it, like, this environmental stuff is really hard to get right. As opposed to, like, you have different kinds of mobs and you fight different mobs. You make a new mob and now, like, the meta changes. You're like, okay, that's cool. Oh, well, you have different upgrades. Okay, cool. You have some items. I mean, this game looks pretty dope. Arcane Assembly is such a dope name for it as well.
Sadie, the basics of magic. Player block, spawn a new orb. Return the orb created. The orb that represents caster spell built-in variable. Okay. Now you can equip the spell by clicking on it and pressing equip. Also change the key that activates the spell. Wait, how do I do that? Go to the equip menu and try the spell you made. Activate using the key you set. The default is left click. You made a spell that spawns an orb and stores it in a variable. Let's make it more useful. Click on your spell pick again, click on the spell, and then click on the edit button to edit it. The second most important instruction is apply aspect. This allows you to infuse an orb with power, make it deal damage, or give it defensive properties. Drag the apply aspect block from the power sections just underneath the declare. Next, find the variable you declared in the variable section. And
dang, this is some impressive coding, chat.
Now try enchant. Now, whenever the given orb hits an enemy, it would damage them. This is much more useful when you throw the orb. Drag the throw orb block from the power section. Try and drag your variables from the first argument to the orb. So drag orb, right? Look at that. Now your spell should look like this. Declare orb, apply aspect, enchant, throw orb, mouse angle. Yeah.
This is so impressive.
So I declared orb. What is this? Spawn
Jake, we're gonna do it in OCaml.
aspect, apply orb. Set the variable to a newly spawned orb. Applies an aspect to that orb. And then
I mean, I don't know how far we're gonna get. I'm just having fun right now. You know what I mean? We're just hanging out, having fun.
Oh, okay. Throw 62 arguments of the type orb, argument of the number. It returns orb across.
Oh, this is really smart.
So it gives you like a whole breakdown of the whole thing. Okay. You know,
So many of these things are really good ideas that I'm not gonna steal.
Oh my god! Finally, here's some useful power instructions that play a more supportive role.
Are there OCaml game engines? No, no. There's there. Not that I'm aware of, Jake. We're gonna make one. There are some really good. It seems to me, OCaml libraries like Raylib. There's really good bindings for it, so we can like draw stuff on the screen really easily. I think this will still work. Yeah, so like this is all this we already have this. And like we have some basic collision stuff and shooting a bunch of missiles and like running around with the sprite. And like it'll stop shooting once we got the last one. So it's like, you know, like that part. I mean, that looks like a game. You know what I mean? Release it right now, dude. It's pretty good.
Everything else, oh my god. Constants, true, false. Powers. Throw orb. Enchant. What are these? These are things I can unlock. Control. Declare my orb variable name.
Dude.
Set if and if wait.
Okay, but hear me out, chat. Hear me out. Are you convinced that learning this whole thing is actually easier than learning program? Yeah, no, I got you, Nightshade. I was answering Jake. I feel like learning to program is actually easier than this. I don't know. It's super cool though. So then I feel like I would need to make like a. Do I need? Tried OCaml by the way. I like it very much. Nice. Do I need to make my own programming language for this game? Chat. Yeah, no, I know. So like that part is definitely like better and you have full control over everything. Like I get that part. The visual part, that part makes sense. It's completely locked down.
Mouse angle, mouse position, speak. Map. Add find angle distance random.
Yes, that part's
Logic.
true too.
This is all
Well, you can guarantee the other ones halt too. If you're running them inside of a VM where you can count the number of executions that you've had and then you just stop it.
Add to list, get list item. Oh, this is literally all. It's all programming.
Because
All
you're the
programming. So now,
host,
like,
right? So you
I'm
can
like,
choose. Dude, this is really cool. This game
never-
concept
never
is so
returned.
cool.
He never returned.
Not sure why it's like. That's what I like to hear,
Maybe
Jake.
weeks and months. Let's. If I can probably do this where it's gonna throw 3 orbs, right? Right? No? Each click is gonna throw 3 orbs? They're like, if orb is this far away, then throw another orb. Get these. Seconds. And I duplicate that, and I put that between here. Let's see if this works the right way. If I get this right. Logic, like what? Maybe it's like wait 1. No, I guess it doesn't work like that. I guess
See,
not.
this is where it's like. This is where it doesn't not seem like now it's harder because it
I
doesn't.
apply 2 aspects of the same orb. Oh, okay, maybe so if I just delete this.
He doesn't have the orb anymore, so he can't throw it. That's literally the problem. You can tell. This is the problem here, right? So he declares an orb and he spawns one and then he throws it and then he waits and he tries to throw it again. He doesn't have the orb anymore. He needs linear types. He needs linear affine types so that he knows that the orb is no longer owned by the rest of this equation. It's been moved. Literally, it's been moved, chat. Like he can't do it anymore. That's the problem. Like that's more confusing when you do this way. You know what I mean?
Orb.
Mutable state. It's a game.
Seconds. So only wait 4 seconds if that's something.
This isn't Haskell, dude. Those are getting nuts. Now we have a programmer. Exactly. Well, I'm not gonna stick around for him to figure that out. He's gonna eventually figure out that the orb's already been thrown. He has to declare new orbs to throw.
Yeah, it's not
Cry
that-
me a
it's
river
not-
when I have to implement linear type for game.
I think spies are actually pretty dang cool. You know, lol it all the way. I'm just not a fan of them getting after me. Ah! Look at-
Man, I do love that. This is actually really impressive.
That's the big thing. Is anymore. Oh, aspects. Oh, that thing's coming down on me. I'll never say that thing's coming down.
Who is making this game? Can I find out about this person? Isaac Lee. Oh, sweet. Already has a game. Where can I want to find out about this person? Isaac Lee, Arcane Assembly. Yeah, I just want to like follow him on Twitter or something. You know what I mean? Is this person's like just straight up just hidden. There's no like contact info or anything for this? You know what I mean? Is there a Discord or anything? It's just really cool. Dude, for how much work he's put in his game, he needs to write a more compelling page. Nope, that doesn't seem right. Nice, it seems.
It helps if you just jump ridiculously high and you already got double jump. It helps with that sort of thing. Press E to learn. Agreed. Not learn. Well, technically learn, I guess. I guess I'm learning too, right? Unlock repeat. Oh, and a tree from my father's research log. He must have come through here recently.
Oh, that's cool. You're unlocking this. This is also one of the things that I thought would be dope. Is you unlock as you progress through the game, you unlock like language constructs. You know, like there's no way to do for loops at the beginning, but then you can do for loops later. There's no way to like iterate over a list, or that you just don't even have lists to start with. I mean, wouldn't that be sweet?
Execute instructions between repeat and NP.
It also helps you like learn the game, right? Because then you don't have everything all at once. So now he's going to be able to do the stuff that he wanted to do before, which is like spawn an orb.
Does that work?
No, he still doesn't get it though.
I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, you need to spawn the orb inside.
Okay, so that's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I have to do the declare part.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, that's cool. You know the really cool thing is you could technically make it where, I mean, it's gonna be really cool. I guess when you get fire and all that stuff, you're gonna be able to make it where you can launch like a fire orb.
Oh, nice. That's some good sleuthing right here.
Like a fire orb,
That's some good sleuthing. Greater and separate, yeah. Experimenting with portals. Oh, dude, that looks so cool. This game looks so good. I do need to put this on wish list because I will try. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay. Oh, I can do it on my. It's okay. I don't need to dox myself. The epi lang is not good for making video games. Yeah, but OCaml has mutability. It has opt-in mutability for different things. I'll give you an example of one that I think is pretty cool. So I made this sword module here, and so it has a type, and you can say particular fields are mutable in OCaml. And so you can't change these aspects of the sword. So this stays the same for every tick, right? These would all stay the same, right? So you don't have to reallocate or do anything else, blah, 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 etc., right? And then you can make just this field mutable. So when you like update, right? When you would update, you would just change the status. Right? So it's definitely possible to do. And like we have arrays that are like actually mutable arrays and stuff like that if we need it. So we can do these things if necessary. Oh, I wanted to finish watching more of this though.
If I orb like an ice orb, you'll be able to fire all this stuff. It's also moving. Get him. It's a boss, isn't it? Yep, B-drill. It's B-drill.
It is literally B-drill. That can't be legal.
Am I stuck? Oh, I'm out of mana. Crap. They fire forever? They do. I love it. This costs me a ton of mana. That's all. I gotta make one where it fires all the missiles, and I gotta make one that doesn't fire any missiles. Torture with 1,000 men. Is that all? Just 1,000? Oh, I'm getting hit like crazy. Oh, look at the big ones.
This game looks great though.
Oh, now it's raining.
Dude, I would play this for sure.
I'm burning.
I need to reach out to this guy and get a promo code, I think.
There we go. Give me all this. Yeah. What now? You learn Firebomb and unlock instruction Orbit. Wait a minute.
Oh, sweet.
Does that mean I can make the orb? Choose a template. Blank, throw, repeat. What do you mean?
Instead of throw, he's going to be able to make him orbit.
Let's equip this.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's exactly
Nice.
what I wanted to do, but how do I sign this?
You got to put it on a different... Click this button! Click it here! Click it here!
Controls? Controls. Sign something different. Is it gonna be a 1, 2, 3 or something like that? Ready?
That's really cool.
Does it open up a web browser? Yes. I just figured out the spell! You know what the thing is too? You could actually make, so let's say you wanted to do a shield, right? You could make it where you could make the aspect. Let's see. You could technically throw it around you. You know what I mean? You could cleared. Come.
my shield. True.
That's cool that you can speak. Dude, that is really cool. That's really cool. Oh, dang. Wait, you can still get the free demo? Wait, where can you get the free demo? Anyways, okay, we'll have to come back to this we'll come back to it later. I don't want to just play it instead. That's fine. Oh, Nightshade. It was during the next thing. The demo was live just during Steam Next, probably. So it was on the store page. Right, and now it's not there anymore. So that makes sense. Okay, so all right, so okay, here's a concept. So you know how like in Halls of Torment or in Vampire Survivors, you get a character that you play through for that round, and each character has like some different stats and stuff, right? What if so like let's say instead, what if you had something like this, right, where you have why is this doing that? There we go. So let's say you had like I don't know, rogue like round or something, right? So your character, you first so like step 1 is pick a programmer or something like this, right? And then after you pick your programmer, each programmer has some different skill. Pick a programmer. Each programmer has some different skills, right? Like and or bonuses, right? And also some like simple attack kind of thing, right? Ideally related to those skills or bonuses, right? So then throughout the round, you can pick up new, I don't know, robots or something like that. I don't really want them to be robots. I feel like it's cooler if they're spells or something, and these are like enchanted creatures or something. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I'm kind of a sucker for like more fantasy style, right? And what you can do is you can write spells for the robots outside or inside of the game loop. Right, so there's a limited subset of robots. The spells are shared like between programmers. Yeah, like Mystic ROM chips. Yeah, like this kind of thing, right? You can like load up the different ROM. And then like as you level up, you get upgrades for like your spells, or why is this like not indenting for some reason right now? It's weird. Your spells, or like hero, we'll say programmer, we'll say robot, we'll say calculations, we'll say effects, etc. Right? So like, so this is in a sense like really similar to some of the same style as like Vampire Survivors or Halls of Torment, right? In the sense that this is like your hero, these are your spells, and then these are the upgrades that you get, right? But I'm saying like the twist would be that you can write your own spells and you can take those into battle, or you can write your own as you're inside the battle, right? Maybe there's some cost, or you have to get some special upgrade, so you can't like change it every 2 seconds, right? We'd have to think of some ways that you could like actually do that. And like spells have like a cost associated with running them. You could pick the ordering. Like, does that make sense, chat? I feel like this way you can write spells for each kind of robot that do very different things. Right? And we can have some default spells as well that do some simple stuff. We'll go to bed soon, I think, yeah. I'm just thinking hard. Trying to picture what this would look like. Because one of the like main problems I feel like you would have in this game with coding stuff is like usually, man, there's a bug in here. That's okay, I'll get it in a sec. Like, you just can't solve interesting programming problems quickly. Generally speaking. I mean, at least for you, chat. I know that I can. I make it look easy on stream. Well, oh my goodness, what if we just called the game Skill Issue? Holy cow. If we called it Skill Issue, it might actually be good. Oh my goodness, dude. We can, with a purchase of the game, you get a free license to Jira for tracking all the bugs you have in your code. But this would let you, though, like, I do think you need to be able to write and change your spells in the middle of a game. No, it'd be more, ideally, this is going to be like Vampire Survivors or Halls of Torment style. That's at least what I'm envisioning, because I've been liking those games recently, and I thought it would be fun to make one. Right, so like you have time to pause, and you could write a new spell or change it if you get some really broken upgrade or combination that you weren't expecting before, right? Maybe you can only author, you know, like 4 spells per like round normally or something like that. What up, Melky? So, but I think that actually like makes sense and lets you explore some. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, TwitchCon, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's all right. I feel like, looks like everyone's having lots of fun at Next.js today. That one made me sad. Not because of the conference, just because it looked like they were having fun. I don't care about Next. I'm going to write everything in OCaml plus HTMX. You don't have to worry about me. Yeah, I know. I felt bad for Bash. Okay, so can you make a Melky unit? Yeah, we can have Melky as a programmer. So like our programmers, we could have pick, no special skills, doesn't do anything, just keeps talking about Haskell. Right. It'd be like, that'd be fine. We'd have Melky, jacked out of his mind, punches enemies, like code runs fast and good. Go Lang. Sometimes panics. What else can you say though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much, that makes sense. Dude, can you imagine? Main question. Should we introduce gacha style gambling to unlock popular tech Twitch streamers with different skill levels and star counts? Because now I think like, okay, so should I quit my job to make this? Because I only need about 3 whales per year, I'm pretty sure, to start outpacing my current salary, right? Like I just need 3 people. I just need to convince Crimson Mama that instead of gifting subs, he needs to be buying gacha style rolls to unlock Prime's character. You know what I mean? And like instead of taking, only getting 50% of the Crimson Mama sub count, we'd be getting like 75 to 95 instead. Simulcast to kick? Oh, dang. It's built in. Just you always are simulcasting to kick whenever you play? Oh my goodness. Can you imagine actually if we got farm? How far along are you? We're here. I mean, we've got a guy moving around. He's shooting bullets. If you get hit by the bullets, you're dead. If the bullets hit the mobs, they die. We can change stuff. Where do we make the bullets? Where do we actually make our bullets here? Let's make them a little bit chunkier. There we go. Now we got a little bit chunkier style bullets here. Let's move this back up to like 10,000. Right now, this is just filler sound effects. And then like you beat the level. It's pretty much Unreal Engine 6, yeah. Is Asteroids the OG Vampire Survivors with screen? It basically is, right? Well, the stream, Chris, you start pushing multi-level market. Exactly, Super Stay. Now you're starting to think. So that only took us like to get this far was maybe like what, chat, 2 or 3 hours probably. And we explored like a lot of other ideas first. So we can already put 10,000. I think here, we'll try putting like 30,000 on here again. That part, it started getting a little bit slow at the beginning. We were down to like 30 FPS. I think part of the problem too is these bullets last forever. So we're not killing enough mobs. It looks extra slow because we tied everything to the frame rate, which is like not the strategy that you want to do. So, anyways. So we're checking a lot of collisions there. A lot of n squared collisions right now because we check if every bullet is checking to hit every mob. So that's obviously not good if we shoot a lot of bullets. Right? It doesn't work that good. It's like this will be better because we're not going to make so many bullets. And then once we start killing some of these mobs, then it's going to be much better. But that's okay. That was just for... Now we're trying to think what is a picture of the game we actually want to get to. The thing I want to explore with the game is like putting coding inside of the game. Which is then why we were thinking of making like programmer people, like programmers here. And then we were joking about pick a programmer. And we said pick a programmer. But now we have 2 of these. Vim motion to pick up upgrades. Would it be funny to move around with ASDF? Vim mode would be really funny. Vim mode. Okay, we'll add it. Move with... Okay, whoops. That would be pretty funny. Right, or superstay that you would modify the behavior of certain things, right? So superstay, so in OCaml, no less. Antonio, have you seen this? Did I already show you this? Let's not have it be 30,000. We'll go back to 10,000 because it's a lot better. I mean, look at this. This is a real game. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real game. That's a real game. No, but so superstay, maybe not just like the abilities are super constrained, but suppose like you need to have variety. So if we go back to our readme for this, right? Like, and we think about like a summon unit, you might have to do a bunch of these things for summons where they go and particularly like search for people or something, right? Or like a tank unit with like a lot of healing. Maybe he's like searching for units that do damage and getting between them or something, right? Or like or you're like, I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still trying to figure out what could you add for programming that is not really gimmicky, right? You don't want to just make it like super gimmicky or that they're all doing exactly the same thing, right? So one of the examples I gave of like an upgrade you could get in the middle of the game is like, normally you may be spending some particular cost trying to you like to calculate what your next move would be. What if you could get an upgrade in the game that lets you know the opponent's, health for free instead of taking, 3 CPU cycles to find it or something? Oh, well, so if you know that you can find out the health of all these units for free, then your ranged unit can just always pick the one who exactly equals the damage that they're going to do. Right? So like your ranged unit is focused on like shooting down and not overkilling. Right? So like so like what are some common problems in these games, right? You have overkill, you have ranged guys being annoying, you have big bosses crushing you, like these kind of things, right? You have like people doing damage to you, right? So you might want to write different things to like try and solve those problems, but they might not be worth it normally unless you get an upgrade. So I don't know. I'm trying to think about it. Like the summons, definitely, like you could have. So let's think of an example. Like some units do more damage each consecutive hit they do, right? Or maybe that's an upgrade. So, well, then you would want to have a completely different getting slowed down. True. You should, so like handle getting slowed or hasted. Ooh, you need to have a buffer unit. Well, I don't know what you call it. Buff teammates unit, right? You can have overheating as a mechanic. Overheating. Too many attacks. So there's like all these different mechanics where, and of course, friendly fire. More damage with less HP, right? So you have other kinds of trade-offs too, right? Of the kinds of units maybe that you're going to bring into battle or that you'll pick up along the way. Oh, you'll have, you definitely have to have walls. And maybe vision problems. Like your units can't see other people, so they just like shoot at the wall. Right, like you all definitely make it possible to get screwed by off by once. Like somehow you have to be able to get screwed by off by once. Ooh, auras is a really good one, right? And calculating to stay in an aura. I mean, I kind of have that for like buff teammates unit. Yep, so you can have units that like debuff enemies unit, like this kind of thing, right? Or a spell that does that or something, you know, like these kind of things, right? We're a whole MMORPG programmable. So like one of the things that's nice about the roguelike and single player style is okay if some things are busted. Yes, the goal of the game is that people will write programs. Like at some level in the game. Bitburner. No. We just found out about a couple other ones. Bitburner game. Oh, pretty recent. 2021. How did I get on Neovim Core? I did a lot of contributions to Neovim, and it was helpful. I knew Screeps, the person who made this. What? Screeps is a game. This is funny. You have like charisma and other stuff. And there's one bug in here. I need to go get him later, but well, that's cool. Screeps game. Okay, chat. I know people. MMO strategy game sandbox for programmers. Scripting creeps. Okay, nice. See, the problem though with MMORPG things, right, is things have to get balanced. So we don't have to have things be balanced for us. Carnage Heart. Chat, check this out.
So badly.
Look at this. PS1. You're literally programming these robots to do stuff. You put the cards in and then they battle. And you watch them battle.
Are you any smart? Okay, they're reacting to projectiles.
PS1.
They're definitely reacting to projectiles close to them. They're still quite jumpy. I might want to reduce their evasiveness factor.
This is so cool.
Yeah, my new design.
I cannot believe how cool it is. Games Crash really benefit from domain modeling. Interesting idea to use FP. Yeah, I think it would be fun. Use if you equate servers to units in your game. Servers exactly. Ion, yes. So like, the longer it takes to solve something, it's going to take longer in the game for your units to do actions or other things like that, right? Oh, I think I may have heard this one. I've heard this one before. That's cool. I think I have heard of this before. Yeah. So that's very cool as well. I'm definitely going for something quite a bit different than this, right? It's more like Vampire Survivors. That's what I want to do. I want to do a roguelike action type game where programming is involved, not necessarily in every single step along the way, but that you're able to write custom behavior to do different. So for me, one of the things that would be really fun, like for Vampire Survivors, is I wish, like, let's say there was a weapon for like ranged attacks. I want to program a weapon that just always aims for ranged enemies first. Because they're annoying. And that's how I usually die when I would die, right? Like they would always aim for ranged enemies. Right? Like that. So even just that would be fun. Right? Even just that would be like a fun mechanic that I could change their targeting behavior. Right? For a ranged like spell that I have or something like that. Yes, someone sent this to me recently. I was thinking about buying it, yeah. So you like you guys see what I'm saying? Like you see what I'm saying? So you can still have a bunch of the other parts that are still fun from Vampire Survivors, Halls of Torment style. But also, like, what if you could just, like, what if the twist is that you can program the spells, right? In some unique ways. And there's, like, costs to it, right? Like, it's also, like, kind of funny, right? Is if you use, like, if you just put everything in an array instead of using a map, your code's slower and your guys attack less often. That's pretty funny, chat. Or like you wrote some dumb code and then your melee guy, instead of running towards the enemy, he always runs away from everyone as far as he can get. Right? Like, I mean, I feel like, that's pretty funny. And like over time you build up a bunch of spells that work well. And then maybe there's like levels that, dude, that's my kind of melee character. Exactly. And there's like a lot of fun stuff you could do in terms of challenges. Like you could have a challenge. You could potentially program some of the programmer thing as well, which would be kind of fun. So you could go fully automatic mode. Can you write a mode, or can you write enough code that your guy can beat the whole game without you ever touching, right? Or like there's so many fun like challenges that you could do beyond just like surviving the 10 minutes or 15 minutes of the round, right? That would be pretty, I think like that would be pretty fun to explore. Yeah, the problem with like, well, yeah, you could have, yeah, instead of survival mode, you could have speed run mode. That's not a bad idea as well. Actually, it might be better as the main game loop. So you're saying like, what if we made fully automatic mode as kind of like the default mode while the round is running? Well, I still think you could update it while it's running, because like if you play Vampire Survivors or the others, the game pauses when you pick your upgrades, right? So like at upgrade time, you could click like edit code or switch spell or something like that, right? Or maybe particular upgrades let you do that. So it could still happen. Live coding. I don't think that that's a fun mechanic. I don't think that it's a fun mechanic to try and do. I mean, I guess like it could be a fun game mode, but I don't think it's a fun mechanic to try and like literally speed type to change it like while you're typing. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very fun. Oh, to test it, you're saying though. You're saying to test it, not to like. Yeah.